So sports are amazing, and I'm going to beat him. I'm going to race him again and beat him this year, just so you know. Sports are amazing, and all these things are good in and of themselves. So the problem is not that they're not good things. That's why we can be so tempted to build our lives on those things. The problem comes, if you're taking notes, write this down. The problem in life that we come into, the main problem, what this whole verse is about, comes when we make any good thing our foundational thing. When we make any good thing our foundational thing. When we buy into this idea that any something is the only thing that can make us happy and that can make us fulfilled, that thing starts to take priority in our lives. When our foundation is money, we don't just work hard. We work nights and weekends. We miss birthdays. We miss recitals. We miss church. We miss family. When our foundation is relationships, we don't just love people. We find our identity and our worth in their love for us. When our foundation is physical health, we don't just exercise to feel better, to ward off disease. We exercise to look better than the person that's exercising beside us, so that our washboard abs or our toned arms and our legs are the envy of everybody at the beach, right? And we exercise so that when we look in the mirror, we will like what we see on the outside without ever having to worry about who we are on the inside. So the goals and the methods might vary from person to person. What our sandcastle is that we build might change, but the outcome never changes. When you make a good thing a foundational thing, you set yourself up for despair and for sorrow and for frustration. However pretty our own sandcastles may look, whether it's money or a car or a house or a job or our solid financial structure or a family or a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a husband or wife, no matter what it is, anything but Jesus, however pretty our sandcastle looks ever, however deep you make the moat, however strong you make the walls, however good your sandcastle is, eventually, no matter what, at the end of the day, always the tide's going to come up and the rain's going to come down and the winds are going to blow and your house is going to get beat on. And if you build your house on anything but Jesus, even if it's a good thing, even if it's your family, even if it's your job, even if it's relationships, anything but Jesus, anything, when you make any good thing a foundational thing, it will fall down every time. That's the sandcastle. We realize, I think deep down, most people, some people by vocation realize that the world is messed up. Some people by their very vocation can see the sin in the world and the bad things that happen. I know police officers that can tell you stories. Pray for them, they go through a lot every day. Some people just by their job can see the sin in the world. But for others, for by and large, for a lot of us, we don't realize the world is broken until the fog lifts. So somebody gets sick, somebody dies, there's a school shooting, there's a terrorist attack. Something happens in our life and it makes us, the fog lifts and we lose our little x-ray vision. We just went to Disney World with Megan. Where's Megan? Me and Megan just went to Disney World with our family the other week, and we went to the Magic Kingdom. Eve just got back from there too, and Carly's there now. We can go to Disney World a lot, y'all. And they have these fireworks at Cinderella's castle. And I remember I had so much work to do that week for school and stuff to get ready for the Verb when we got back. But when I was there, when I was at Disney World, I didn't think of anything but how beautiful those fireworks were. I didn't think of anything but how pretty the castle looked. I didn't think of anything but how much fun we were having. I was blinded by this like Magic Kingdom, these Magic Kingdom lenses that I wore, and I couldn't see anything but that. Well, we live in a Magic Kingdom society, and we are blessed beyond comprehension with money, with riches, and with food, and with Taco Bell and Quesalupa, and all these other awesome, amazing things that we have every single day we're blessed with. And so sometimes it's hard, and until the fog lifts, we don't see how broken the world is. But by and large, we are just plagued with this desire in you, and each and every one of you, for this fullness of life, for this satisfaction in you that you never, ever seem to get. And we try and fix this by running to this well. In just a few more minutes, guys, we're almost done. We try and fix this by running to this well, and this well of self, our self-well. When we feel unsatisfied, we think, let me try and better myself. We're going to better ourselves, which is also why self-help books are the best-selling books ever. If you go to the store, there's massive, all of them, which is so funny because if any of them work, if even one of them worked, then logically, like, there wouldn't be a need for the rest of them. If one self-help book could fix you, then you would never need the other 500. But there's so many of them because they don't work. Because the problem is ourselves. And we're trying to fix ourselves in a world that tells you every single day, in a world, you guys, that tells you every single day, how many, well, you don't have to raise your hand because you're going to be shy, but think in your head, if you've ever said, I'm just trying to find myself right now. I'm just trying to find myself. I've said that so many times I can't count. And that was my biggest problem. Because our self is the problem. And in a world that's telling you to find yourself, Jesus is saying, I need you to lose yourself for me, to leave yourself behind and come just to me. And so we go to that well, we try and fix ourself, and the problem is ourself, by drawing out of ourself. Ultimately, we set out just to create this better version of ourselves, but it's impossible because a better version of you will never satisfy you. It'll never fill that hole in your heart. And so when that doesn't work, we realize, hey, working out has not made me feel better. This six-pack abs don't make me feel better. Maybe I can find satisfaction in others. And so we try and find satisfaction in others. We run to others. And our culture preys on this. Our culture preys on this. Listen to this. Our culture preys on it. That you're going to be able to find someone, somehow, somewhere that will somehow complete you. Ladies. Well, I'll tell you this. Let's say men first. I put it this way. Football makes a horrible guy. Ladies make a horrible guy. When we seek something, when we try and find satisfaction in anything but Jesus, that thing, that person, whatever it is, that becomes our God. It doesn't mean those things aren't good, and it doesn't mean that God hasn't given us those things to enjoy them because they're amazing. But when we try and use those things as the thing, when any good thing becomes the foundational thing in our life, that is when we get a problem. So